Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2024. This is going to be a short one. I told you guys the other day that I had one of the original Revell Master Modelers Club kits. So that's that's what I was going to show you today. I've got pieces of several of those, and I've got some extra patches and stuff that I've acquired. You can find this stuff on eBay and the magazines and stuff like that. And some prices have actually jumped on that stuff quite a bit. But I was fortunate enough, I think about 5 years ago, I got an entire original and complete club package. So, and what, basically what I think this was all about was promoting people buying models. It was pretty smart marketing. The name on the certificates and stuff was Royal Glacier, which was the president of Revell's wife. She was buddies with Ed Roth. She really liked Ed. I can't remember his name right now, but I do remember reading where she was buddies with Ed, and she was the one that always kind of schmoozed Ed and got things done when it came to handling Ed with the model kits and photo shoots and everything else, because Ed was so hard to deal with. And so that, anyway, that's her claim to fame, and her name is the one that's on the Master Modelers Club certificates and stuff. But anyway, what kind of just start out, because I've got up here on the wall, kind of start with this. So here's where you would have started out. There's your Master Modelers Club application. And I can't remember if this came in a kit or what. More than likely that's what you did. So you would send that in, and I don't know if it cost you anything. It says 1971. There's a date on there. There's one of the certificates. That was the first one I got a hold of, and it's not great. It's kind of nasty and on the edges and stuff. And there's one of the original patches. There were some variants in these patches as far as color and stuff. And that, it's funny because I still actually have the envelope, the original envelope from that one. And this belonged to Daniel C. Erie from Erie, Pennsylvania. And this one, obviously this envelope's pretty rough, but when I got a hold of this other kit, complete kit, it's fairly complete. So when you joined the Master Modelers Club, of course, you got the certificate, and this one's really nice and crisp and clean. This one has not been filled out. And you would get this cool iron-on, t-shirt size iron-on. And you got this little tool kit with clamps and this little, like a pair of tweezers and a puttying device and a glue applicator. And I remember using this as a kid, and I thought that was just fantastic. And you got your club card, of course, that you carried in your wallet, and your patch that you could show on, sew onto your clothing, so everybody knew how cool you were. And then you would get these magazines, these Get It Together magazines. I can't remember if it was, it says quarterly. So yeah, it was a quarterly publication. Okay, so 4 times a year, and this went on for quite a while, because I've got a lot of these from several years, and there, it would just have little, of course they would tell you what was coming out, and then they had stories. One of the main story characters was Delmo Kitselp, and it was just one of their things. It's actually a pretty long-winded story, but this was for kids, and then here's article on photographing your models. And then as it went on, and what in the later issues, what they did is, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So let's do this. This was your proficiency level application. So what you would do is you would list the models that you built on here. Okay, so here's the deal. Once you built 12 models, you were an advanced modeler. When you got to 25, you were a master modeler. And then when you got to 75 models, you were a grandmaster modeler. So that's how that worked. And you would send this list in, and I think at some point they asked for a photograph. I can't remember. I have photos of me with my models. I remember my mom taking, and I think I sent this in. But yeah, there's your proficiency application. So that was kind of cool. And like I say, that went on for quite a while, because I've got a huge stack of those Get It Together magazines, and that would show you what was coming out, new models. And then a lot of times they would do kind of almost like a kit unboxing, or they would show you built models or whatever. And then they got to the point, once that whole thing got started, they started featuring people's models. You could send in pictures of your models. You could send in drawings if you had ideas for a model. They were always asking for ideas. You could send in photographs and stuff, or drawings. So it was kind of cool, got everybody involved. And then what they started doing in the later issues is putting your name in those categories, advanced modeler, master modeler, whatever. And somewhere in one of those magazines, I made it to Grandmaster Modeler, because I had well over 100 built model kits at one time in my bedroom. And it was crazy. I had one long shelf that ran the entire length of my room that my dad made me, and then I had a book cabinet that was just crammed, and I had the Deals Wheels airplanes hanging up. So, my room was something. And I was really doing that pretty heavy, probably ages, I guess from the time I was about 11 until I was 14 or so. I was really, really building a lot. But I was also, in the meantime, I had started surfing and skateboarding big time. And of course, I bought my first car when I was 15, and that's when everything starts changing. When you start driving and you start going out and hit high school and stuff, everything started. And I've never just, got away from modeling. I got into RC cars in high school, the really early associated stuff. And so that kind of was the crossover for me. And then when I got married the first time, I started building scale models again. And I was doing a lot of airbrush work on RC cars for people. I had a local hobby shop that was paying me to airbrush bodies for them so they could charge more for them. So I can't even tell you how many of those Lexan bodies I painted over the years. But I think RC cars and boats were my crossover from scale models. And I did that for a lot of years. And then I was heavy into Hot Wheel collecting. Back in the 80s, I had amassed about 7,000 Hot Wheels cars. And when my now wife and I got together, and eventually I moved in with her, and I just started bringing in all these cases of Hot Wheels. She was a little appalled, I think. But hey, everybody's got. I didn't have a whole lot after my divorce, but I did have my Hot Wheels collection. So, and down the road there, I started building models again, and back in that era, I was building a lot of. I did a lot of sci-fi stuff. I did a lot of comic stuff, like I was building, I think, those. Horizon, the vinyl kits of like Spider-Man, Batman, stuff like that. But I was also building Batmobiles, and at of course '89, that Keaton Batmobile came out from that movie, and I loved that thing. And that was the first thing I ever put lights in on a model car. But of course it was those old grain of wheat bulbs. But I drilled out the dash and parts of the interior, and I put really creepy green lighting. It looked cool. And I rigged up this switch on the rear axle where you could turn the rear axle and turn the lights on. So that was kind of my first shot at doing that stuff. And then I just really got back into building models all the time. And of course, then I went back. I was building real cars again. I started building hot rods and working on hot rods and muscle cars again. So that kind of came full circle. But I think all of this came from building model cars. My mechanic here in town, a good friend of mine for many, many years. He passed away a few years ago. But I remember him telling me, the first thing, the model kit, one of the first things he built was the big visible V8 engine. And that's what got him hooked on building car engines. So he started building real car engines in high school. And he said that absolutely positively came from learning on that plastic model kit. And I think that's the truth for all of us that are car guys that have been into cars all these years, that we got involved because of having these roots in scale models. And I've never not liked, fiddling with model car kits and bikes mostly, but and I'm glad I'm still with it. And I'm glad to see the hobby has come full circle, that there's so much more interest. And really 10 years ago, I think there was such a decline in model building. And I think, of course, a lot of it has to do with the video game era. These young people now, they want instant gratification. They don't want to wait for hours and days to work on something. They like those video games, and I get it, and it is cool. But I'm glad that scale modeling, to see that even on a global scale, how much it's changed and how much more advanced it is. And it's just so good seeing so much incredible work out there from so many people all the way around the globe. So it's a good thing, and I think you're going to continue to see modeling continue to make its comeback. I will show you this. I've got an original painting that was done for me by Von Franco. That's him. This one, this is Rat Fink building the giant Tim Nolan model kit. And so instead of me building Rat Fink, it's Rat Fink building me. And Franco went in there and he picked up a lot of things from my workbench and things that I have shown you guys, or at least he's seen over the years. And there's the model box with a leg and a foot in it. And there's the box cover. You got your glue and paint. There's my little dog Heidi before she passed away. He's got her pissing on something in the background. And a box of human body parts up there, and some car parts. And then a couple of my model builds that I did. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you. I love this thing. He didn't tell me what he was doing until I got it. We traded some work out. I did some eyeglass work for him, and he did not tell me what he was doing for me until I got that. I was just blown away. I was so happy with that. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. But anyway, I'll let you go for now. Get back to it. Again, happy Valentine's Day. Hope you guys all have a great rest of the week, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for tuning in. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Love to have you on board. And for all you guys that just keep getting a hold of me with emails and comments and stuff, I really appreciate it. And I'm having a lot of fun with this. I really am, and it's great communicating with so many. Oh, and I meant to tell you, I think I mentioned in my Tom Daniel video about my friend Dan Warford, who we thought had passed away. I got a message from him on Facebook. I couldn't believe it, and he said, I know everybody thought I died. I'm alive and well. I had some health issues. I've overcome that. I'm a healthy 65-year-old man, and I'm still going. And I was so happy to hear from Dan and find out that nothing had happened to him. So Dan, thanks, buddy. I'm glad you're tuning in. I'm glad you're still around, and I'm still using your decals. I think I told you. I still got a lot of your work, and I'm still using it on my model. So I really appreciate everything, all the custom work you did for me for years, and it is still carrying on here. Here we are, what are we, 15, 20 years later, I'm still using those decals on stuff. So I appreciate it, and good to have you on board. But again, you guys keep building, and I will talk to you again soon. Thanks for tuning in.